What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Hammond on the show, talk some IPOs. Jake Wujasik from Trend Spider. We have a
breaking news.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Happy Monday evening. Shout out to everybody over there in Australia. Happy Tuesday morning. I don't know how many viewers there are that are in Australia, but I'm guessing at least one. Would you say that's fair, Ruell?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we got something down under.
There we go. All right, that was good try with the accent. I'll give it to you. What's up, guys? My name is Luke from the Benzinga team here. I am joined by the namesake of the show, Mr. Ruell Black. This is the Ruell Report, coming to you live 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday. Ruell, tell us what's going on, man.
I have the Steam Exchange group with us, the entire team. I'm really excited to kind of introduce them to you guys, and I want to see what they say about themselves. But I could wax poetic for like 2 hours about these guys. But yeah, let me bring them on, see, and have them introduce themselves to you guys.
Alrighty, Neville, Chris, we have you live on the stream. How are you gents doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And where in the world are you joining us from?
Toronto. So I'm actually a little bit north of Toronto, and Chris is a little bit east of Toronto.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know how much you can't see behind me. All right. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. If I turn my head this way, I can see Windsor. So, you know, not far, but close enough.
Very close. Very close.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I
hour and a
actually
half drive, maybe.
Exactly. I was just in Toronto last Monday. I wish we would have done this interview a week earlier. We could have done it in person.
Hey, whenever you're available next time, man.
There we go. But all right, Ruell, I will let you take it away.
So, guys, I just want you guys to say a little bit about Steam and what's going on with Steam Exchange.
Right on. So Steam Exchange, we're an up-and-coming platform. We're in development. Our entire team, we're from Toronto, Canada. So our platform and our project, there's a lot of gaps in the crypto ecosphere, specifically with cryptocurrency platforms. So, you know, we were trying to address each and every one by one, and bring solutions to the table. There's a lot of platforms that are coming out, that have been out, but they all kind of do the same thing. We call them the cookie cutter. And we're trying to break that mold, right? We want to come to the table with something new, with something innovative, and an actual disruption in the crypto ecosphere.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Everything that I've heard of you guys is that's exactly what I've heard from you guys. I've listened to the AMAs. I was really impressed about how you guys are very transparent to everyone. And guys, if you listen to these guys' AMAs, they don't take like cookie cutter questions. They open up the floor and people ask whatever they want to ask. So it's not, the transparency is like a 100% there. So you guys get some questions ready in the chat here. And I'm going to just highlight one of the things I love about you guys.
Hey, Ruell, I'm going to hop in for a second and cut you off.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Gary backstage. Gary, if you want me to add you, give me a double thumbs up. Oh, there's the double. He started off with a one thumb up, got the double in there. All right, now we really have the full crew.
Furious 5.
All right, Ruell, I cut you off. Keep going.
Oh, no. That's all good. Hey, Gary, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Sorry, just, you know, a little bit of technical difficulties. I had to resort over to the grammar technique. You know, if it doesn't work, hit it. That's how she used to Flixer TV, and it worked.
No worries. Would you like to say something about Steam before I talk for like 3 hours?
There's a lot, you know, I could say, right? You know what? The inception of it, right? So how do we get here? The real beginning. We didn't just, you know, get together and say, hey guys, you know, let's do something, and we like this idea, right? We have to vet it. So anything that has a chance of being successful, you got to do some research. You got to look at the market, Does the market need it? Is there a problem you're fixing? If there's a problem you're fixing, what's the problem you're fixing, right? So we did a ton of research prior to starting out, right? It's quite simple. So we evaluated various investors, crypto curiosities, and profiles. And I'm not going to bore you with the numbers. If you do want later on, we can sure chit chat and get down to the nitty gritty numbers. Problem is there's a breakdown, severe breakdown between investors, people who want to become investors, people who have known nothing about this, heard stories, and you can imagine only what they heard, and you know yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly of crypto, right? So the real problem, I guess you can call it the underlying problem of it, is creating trust between existing investors, new investors, investors in general, and crypto ecospace. So how do you create trust? How many investors are out there? What's the ratio? There's a certain amount of percentage of people in crypto already, right? What's the percentage of people that want to get into crypto? What's the untapped market? Is there an untapped market? And yes, there is, and it's juicy. So why is that important? If you are able to tell people and give them a way to trust you, and you're telling them you can trust me because A, B, C, D, right? And on top of that, we have this and that, which is something that they're accustomed to already. And we'll go over what this and that really means. You have already got them through the door. Once you got them through the door, I'm just going to highlight it, and then we'll talk about this soon. But once you got them through the door, it is now within you, it's up to you, I should say, to give them all the tools that they need to become successful at this. You don't want to tell them what to do.
Right.
You want to teach them how to do it, and you want to teach them how to do it properly.
Right.
And research was done. The numbers do back it up. The numbers are crazy, but the numbers do back it up.
Well, one thing I want to touch on is that you mentioned was trust, and I read on the website that you were involved in that Quadriga X scam, and or not involved. I mean, you were a victim of. Excuse me.
I was a victim of it. Yeah.
Used the wrong language there. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you about gave Gary a heart attack there. Jesus.
I saw.
Like,
I'm so sorry.
Wrong Gary. Wrong Gary.
That wasn't even a Gary. That was a Jared.
But I couldn't even imagine, man. I watched the Netflix documentary, and I couldn't even imagine when I heard that. And the fact that you guys wanted to make an exchange really speaks to how you guys care about security and trust. And I just really wanted to highlight for people for people out there that this scam really took a lot away from people, you included. So there's really a need out there to have like trust and security for these crypto exchanges. And for any of you who are not familiar with the scam, the CEO of that company walked off with like millions and millions of people's money in Canada. And it was really, I mean, it's just really a terrible thing.
Still hurts.
And I'm sorry?
It still hurts.
You want to go into that a little bit?
If you feel comfortable. Let's circle back to it later. It's part of the reason we're here, right? Yeah, I don't mind. I'll tell you all about it after. It hurts a lot, man. It really does, and it was like at a time where I especially needed it. Wife's pregnant, we're moving.
Oh, dude.
Bunch of other investments, and I was always, keeping in mind, worst case scenario, rainy day fund, and I was day trading it too. And I was day trading at full swing. So, no funds. We can go back to that after. Point is, we didn't just go into it blinded. We did research, marketing firm, we paid money. Okay. Numbers are there. The numbers are there. and it's showing great potential. And you know what we're doing here is for existing crypto community members, of course, right? Is because of everything that happened to all of us, not just me. This isn't just my story. But that is how we know what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, and we're fixing it as much as we think is the right way to fix it and how we think is the right way of doing it. And there will be upgrades. There's always going to be upgrades. But it also gives us that niche of why would you sign up with us if we are doing something somebody else is, right? Well, we can create trust. We can bridge that trust. We'll cover it now. I don't want to take away from the guys. The guys are probably screaming at me already. They want to talk. But if we could at the end, if we got the time, and if you're interested, I could definitely go back to my sob story, which probably represents a lot of people in Canada, a lot, and America as well, right?
Yeah, I think
and everything else with that too. So.
But yeah, I just want to kind of add on to what Gary was saying, because it's definitely a strong message. Like I said, you know, a lot of us within this space have a story to tell, you know, along those lines. And for us, I mean, it's in human nature to fear the unknown, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here. You know, we're coming forward to kind of tear down those barriers of fear and unknown. To Gary's point, by providing people with the appropriate tools and techniques to just become better, just more educated around, right? Just to make those wiser decisions, right? So yeah, it's pretty big, and that's why education is definitely one of those strong suits for us, right? And we'll tap into that in a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to hop in for just 1 second too on the Benzinga side of things. So I'm one of the original guys here at Benzinga, and I love what you guys are saying about solving a real problem and giving people the tools they need. Like the way that our business started, and it's been about 12 years now, was we were a group of small cap stock nerds. We weren't interested in the Apples and the Teslas and the Amazons of the world. None of those were even relevant 12 years ago. But we weren't interested in those kinds of stocks. We were really into the small companies, the ones that nobody was doing research on, and really digging into them deeply. And the problem that we saw is that the only media coverage on small cap stocks was like these pump and dump scams, right? It was buy this, sell this. This is the next Amazon. You're driving a Lambo next month. It was all that type of content. And we said, hey, there's real news about these real businesses. Let's solve that problem. And it started as a passion project and a blog. And, it was a real problem. And slowly the business grew and we started covering everything. But yeah, what you guys are saying with your getting going story absolutely resonates with me in the Benzinga story over here.
No, and we understand it, right? And I think the community is only going to grow for you and for us as well. Our paths do align for the majority part, right? You might just have a different way of delivering it than we do, right? Mm-hmm. You're more online, whereas we're thinking of we're going to do it physical locations, right? That's going to have the people that want to come in that don't feel comfortable with online, that want to come in through the front door, come. And the other half of people that don't want to sit there with an open ticket, not knowing what's going on, ring it. Ring it now. I'm waiting. It's working. Ring it. It works right now.
And one of the things I thought that would be really particularly awesome for this crowd was I know that you guys said you could plan to vet anyone who comes onto your blockchain. So one of the things to note, guys, about Steam Exchange, they plan on getting up and running on Q2. Possibly Q4, but it's looking Q2. One of the things that they're going to have up and running is their own blockchain called the Rails Exchange. And on that exchange,
Rails
Network, excuse me. On exchange, they're going to vet the people that actually come on board to their exchange. So we just kind of spoke about the Quadriga X thing. So we know there are crypto scams out there. I could name so many. I don't know if you guys know about the whole thing that happened with Squid. What was it? Squid Game.
This one company, Squid Token, I believe it was. Yeah.
They were just around for a day and a half. All they did was they allowed the contract to be so people could buy. They couldn't sell. and they stole everyone's money.
Sounds
So,
familiar. Yeah.
with something like Steam Exchange, you guys are vetting people, and they even have to pay, right, to like kind of even start that process, right?
There will be
So,
an application fee, if you will, right?
right.
So that it eliminates already the ones that are shady for the
Right.
majority part.
Right. So that would weed out, like, if they're just trying to get quick cash, like that Squid Game thing, which is what that looked like that was. They were only around for a day and a half. That weeds those people out, like, completely. And for this crowd, Benzinga is mostly a stock channel. We have a crypto channel and a crypto YouTube as well. But for stock investors, that would be very comfortable for them because now they know people are being vetted. They know that their money's going to have a secure landing, if you will. So I think that's something that will really appeal to people coming over from the stock world.
Yeah, so we will go into detail more about that, as there's definitely more to it, right?
Mm-hmm. You want to go into more detail on that?
So, did you guys want me to start, I guess,
Sure. So actually, Ruell, we were
Fred,
thinking
go ahead.
about going through some of the more recent developments of ours, just by sharing a screen and going through them just very quickly. We can start that off. We can start with the Launchpad if you'd like.
Okay, Luke, can you share Neville's screen?
Yep. And I'm going to need a little bit of work from you first, Neville. So
Sure.
in the bottom of the interface that you're on, you should see a share button. And then once you click that, then I'll be able to add it onto the stream.
Okay. Does it tell me? Oh, there we go.
Neville, you're skipping
Perfect.
through everything else. You're just jumping straight to it.
Yeah, we'll just go to the Innovation Lab section.
Right on.
All right, Neville,
We'll
you're
just
up.
circle back later.
Yeah, Chris, this is all you, brother. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just to the homepage here because I just kind of want to set the tone, right? Anything that we do, literally everything and anything that we do within our ecosystem, security will always be on the foreground. As we kind of touch base on, scams and stuff like that, just at a high level there, our main objective is to make sure that, our platform and everything that's within our ecosystem is secure. So, from a security perspective, it's literally clockwork, in our head, right? Now, our Launchpad and Innovation Lab, that's what we're aiming to do here, right? It's a safe haven. It's a secure platform, which kind of provides, accredited investors that platform of strong projects that they can kind of, look into and kind of invest in, not only for investors, also for other projects out there too, because we found it based on what we've been looking at and what we've seen personally firsthand that there are some good projects out there and they just need that niche, right? That good, strong backing, right? And that's kind of where our platform comes in. So our Innovation Lab does kind of provide a twofold method. We do have our Launchpad, both our Launchpad and Innovation Lab, they're both Launchpads, but the Launchpad is more or less on the basis levels where, we'll take projects in, and they go through a pretty rigorous vetting process, right? Such as like we need to understand, who your team members are. So full KYC of the team. We look into things like project collaterals, understanding what your white paper is, what your project plans are at least 6 months out. If you have financial backing as well too, those are things that we tap into just to make sure that the information you bring to the table is very strong, right? And then once we go through that phase, then there's an application process. On the flip side of it as well too, the Innovation Lab, very similar to the standard Launchpad, but we take it a step further, right? So these projects that do go through the Innovation Lab, and I should backtrack a little bit because, let's say if we get, 50 applications in a year, very, very good chance that maybe only 20 of those would be strong projects that would get through, right? So that's kind of how stingy we're being, and rightfully so, just based on everything that's been happening within the space. We definitely want to tighten up that area and just make it stronger, in its totality, right? So the Innovation Lab, again, another layer of a Launchpad. However, we go a step further in terms of, yes, we have strong projects here. They've launched on our network, and now we're taking a step further and, further backing those projects and kind of pushing them out there, right? it's all about community, right? And by us getting behind those innovation lab projects, it allows us not only for us to extend our reach, but for them as well too, right? From a networking perspective. The vetting, like I said, it's a pretty rigorous process. It may be time consuming, but nothing can replace that peace of mind. Understanding that you have a strong project. I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but I will toot our own horn like us, right? Full transparency, honest, hardworking team that just want to deliver, right? And put their investors first, right? And that's what we do here. So you can kind of see what Neville has up on the screen here. And I won't go into too much detail because we do actually have full demos out there that are available on YouTube today. But it is a 3-step process, right? Like I said, starting with your KYC. Once your KYC has been validated, then you're going to apply. And then once you've applied, then again, there is a pretty rigorous vetting process behind that. And then we will come back to the table and ask you for additional documentation. One thing that we're doing a little bit different, and there's definitely quite a few Launchpads out there today. And you'll see that, in terms of look and feel, we want it to be very clean. We want it to be very straight to the point, and we want to be very informative. The goal here is, you get here and you're learning as much about that project as you can before you leave here. You may leave to go to their socials or white paper and stuff like that, but essentially, this should be the one-stop shop to get all the information you need to make those better decisions. So in a nutshell, at a high level, I mean, this is what we're bringing to the table from a Launchpad and Innovation Lab.
Okay, I love that. One of the questions I'm seeing over on the side is, will SteamX holders be whitelisted to participate in launches from the Innovation Lab or the Launchpad?
That's a great question. So definitely, SteamX holders do have benefits when it comes to that. Not so much where you're just guaranteed a whitelist, but the project owners that we do vet, that do get through our rigorous vetting process, they have an option of a different type of pre-sale, so to speak. So we're going to have a round called the qualified round. And that round is limited to only qualified investors from within the Steam Exchange ecosystem. So if you're one of those investors that signed up, went through the gaming process for the learning, or you learned online, or you learned in person, and now you're a qualified investor based on our requirements, that round is specifically for you. So yes, yes and no. From a whitelisting perspective, it won't be to the project owner's discretion on if to just to whitelist SteamX holders. But if you're a qualified investor and the project owner feels that only qualified investors from the Steam Exchange ecosystem should be able to take part in this pre-sale, they have that option to do so.
And do you mean like qualified as in like over $1 million? That you have over $1 million, or?
No, it's a lot more simple than that. So qualified means that you've gone through our learning modules and you meet the requirements from the regulatory perspective of a qualified investor. So you're literally classified as a qualified investor in our ecosystem. So the project owner that launches can opt to just have their pre-sale dedicated to you as a qualified investor.
That's what I thought it meant, but I do think there's a term qualified investor where you can only invest.
Accredited. No, it's different from accredited.
Okay.
You're thinking accredited. Okay. That's different. That's on the centralized exchange. So what Neville's talking about is the DeFi side. The DeFi side, it's different, right? It's DeFi. It comes with its own niche, right? The centralized exchange, which is again why we're hybrid, right? So we feed into both, and actually more than that. But that's where accredited investors come in, right? Where we have to make sure that you don't overextend yourself, right? That's different. That now you're talking regulation. That's something completely separate, if you will.
Okay. And you mentioned being a hybrid. I already know that you guys are a hybrid chain, but can you go a little bit more into that for the viewers?
Sure. Neville, did you want to do that, or?
No, go ahead,
Chris. Okay, sure. Sorry. All right. So, I mean, I don't know where to start, man. Like, you tell me which part you like the most. There's so much more information about it. Like, we literally did like a 1.5-hour AMA on it, and we just scratched the surface, right?
Right.
Okay. How about the pools? Here, I'll tell you about the pools. So.
Well, you know what? No, just simply. So when Gary says that they're a hybrid, he's saying that they mine, they do proof of work, and they also do proof of stake. So they have a
Okay,
perfect
yeah,
blend
you're
of both.
talking blockchain wise. That's
Yeah.
also a hybrid, but a different type of hybrid of the exchange. The exchange is a hybrid between a DeFi side and the centralized side. So
Yep.
we're able to feed off of both, plus other liquidity pools, thereby making sure that your transaction gets satisfied as quick as possible, with obvious, preference to our own users on our own centralized exchange, right? But once that becomes out of the spectrum that you preset it to, for instance, then it goes off and feeds off of other sources to make sure that you have as little slippage as possible, so it benefits the investors, the buyers, the sellers, everybody, right? Now that's on the exchange side. On the blockchain side, if you will, the latest gimmick is proof of stake, right? It's greener, it's better for the environment, it's
Right.
yada yada yada, right?
Mm.
But people are missing the point, and I'm not saying that this isn't a green. In fact, I'm saying it is. But there's also something that no one's talking about. No one's talking about that normally it's hosted on the VPS. No one's talking about that it's a huge data center. Yes, they are efficient, but no one's talking about it that it requires a massive amount of infrastructure, right?
Yep.
Does that not use electricity? Pretty sure it does. So, all right, let's leave that alone. The hybrid part, right? Proof of work. When you mine your more conservative way, right? Your more common way, the way it all started, the way it all began. It's not to say that there's something wrong with it and people are moving away with it. It's actually probably one of the most secure ways of doing it. It's not, and I'm not saying that, we're not saying this, actually, I should say the proof of stake is no good. It's good, but it does come with its own problems, both regulatory, financial, and structure, right? Not everybody knows how to set it up, and it's not always as simple. There are, without comparing ourselves, there are other systems out there, different companies that let you install an image, if you will, and then you got to run it. But the moment something goes wrong, will you be able to fix it? Probably not.
Yep.
Let's be honest here. And on top of that, the common way of doing it, you have to stake coins. What does that mean? It means you're putting up your own money. Now, if you looked at the most common ones out there that became popular, the last 10 or 15, right? I think there's at least 15 coins over $1 billion worth of now that's staked in.
Yep.
At least as of last week, I checked, there was at least 15. I don't know if it's at 16 now. I know you look at it more often than I do.
No. That's pretty good. I think it's 15 or 16.
15 as of last week, maybe 16 as
Yep.
of this week. I last week it was 15. That's all I remember. I didn't look at it yet this week, so you're saying I'm bang on. That's good. Okay, those are all frozen assets essentially, right? Technically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, in order to run that system, right, your node, your
Mm-hmm.
master node, you have to put your own coins. You have to go buy them with whatever you want to buy them with, whatever the pair is, and then you have to stake them, or you have to join a staking pool, right?
Right.
That runs per node, which they also take a cut. And then at that point, is it really worth it?
Right.
I guess if you put a large amount, but then you can do it on your own, right? Or you can hire someone to run it for you. So it's not, what's the point? So, and then if you do something wrong, you get penalized. If you are offline for too long while you're on update, you get penalized. Where you are online, at first, sometimes they do it where you don't even generate blocks. You don't get to, even they want it, they skip you. You know what I mean? And then other ways I've seen it done is, it's not common that it's always done like that, but I've seen it done like that, right? You get a cool-off period where they want to make sure you're online for a certain amount of time before they let you back in the game. But they've already penalized you, so you've lost some coin already. You've lost it. You lost money. For what? Because you were offline for too long, server took a hit, whatever it is, you got penalized for it. So that's if you're lucky. And that's if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, if you're not lucky, you get into it too late. 3 days a weekend, and then you have to buy it at more money, or maybe you have to remortgage the house or take out a loan and get enough money together to buy these coins. Because you and I know, everybody that knows about running a masternode knows that the price on them can skyrocket really, really, really quickly. They are worth a lot of money, right? It's a piggy bank. It literally is a piggy bank.
And I love the way you guys are doing it by balancing both. And there's some people on the side that they really think that there are many different ways to do proof of work, RF and all of that different stuff that don't take that much energy. It really doesn't take as much energy as people say that it does.
There's more to it, yeah.
So, but yes, and someone mentioned the ratio. We won't go too deep into that. It's 50-50, which is 100 each side. But there's a whole AMA on that for you guys to look at. It was last week. I also have a video on it where we talk about it. You can check it out on my channel. You can just look at my name, Ruell Black, or go to darkhorsewatcher.com. But I also like to get into the gamification stuff that you guys do, or the game. How did you guys say it? GameFi, education, learning.
So that's Neville's domain. Remind me later to circle back, if you don't mind, to the staking, because I want to tell you something that maybe you didn't catch on when we did DMA. I know you've been watching,
okay.
But we've changed the game. We've opened it up to. This is why I was telling you about the money. We don't want you to stake your money. We were gonna let you do it for free. So we'll circle back to it. Neville's.
Yeah, let's definitely circle back to that, because I do know there are huge costs in trying to like run a node, a validator node, and all of that. And you guys went into that, and that's one of the things also that really makes you guys stand out to me. That you always keep the guy that might not be as rich as the other guy in mind, and that's like in today's world with all these companies, it's unheard of. Also, the fact that you guys didn't even take any personal tokens of your own coin. The team didn't take personal tokens. That's also unheard of. Like, you guys' integrity is like off the charts for real. Like, I really mean that. But yeah, let's get to the GameFi, because I think that's. But circle back to the staking. One of the things I really like about certain like stock companies is that if they're in like two different worlds, to me that like hedges a bet. And like, okay, if one of those worlds is down, they still have the other world. So to me, like to be not only in the crypto, but also to be in the education part, makes you guys really diverse. It also shows a commitment to learning and bringing your community along with you. So I really like that. And can you guys kind of mention that to the crowd a little bit? And I think somebody mentioned also in the comments the universities that you guys are partnered with.
Yeah, Neville and Chris are going to be they're more in tune on that. They spend more time with that, so they're going to be your best go at. So
yeah, so absolutely right. We started with the University of Waterloo as our first partner university, faculty rather, and then we just last week signed and finalized our partnership with the college, the Sheridan College. So Sheridan College in Toronto, Oakville, is a niche school. They're specialized in game design, and their game design program gets picked up by huge studios all the time. I know that Bungie picked them up, and other studios also picked them up. Yep. So they hire their students to help with their games. So we figure if they can be trusted by those huge studios, who are we, right? So definitely we looked into them. We signed a partnership with them, a co-op partnership specifically, and their student actually started work today. So Sheridan College is going to be focusing on the world, the characters, the elements, the interactions, the levels, the hub, and all the mechanisms of the game. And the University of Waterloo is going to focus specifically on the AI elements of the game. So this game, this gamified learning, so to speak, is not going to be like a cookie cutter situation where your journey may be the same as my journey. Everyone's journey in learning is different. So this AI is going to kick in. Everyone's journey may begin the same, where you're asked the same basic questions to gauge your knowledge of cryptocurrency and digital assets. But over time, it'll evolve to start asking you more specific questions on your learning needs. And then essentially you're going to meet with trainers in this world. The trainers will continue educating you, asking you questions, and prepare you for the final battle of the level. And that level or that final boss is going to, drill you with questions. That's going to be your test for that topic. And your success or failure is going to be whether you defeat the boss or not. Depending on your level of success, if you've exceeded 50%, let's say for example, of the questions and you've defeated the boss, they may recommend you to go back into the same level and brush up on what you didn't understand and try the boss again to beat it with higher success, or they'll allow you into the next level. Completing all the modules will classify you as that qualified investor.
You know what? I really freaking love that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my mother-in-law is, well, you wouldn't notice. My mother-in-law is a teacher, and school. Well, we all know school's kind of set up to have people be more workers than anything. But school doesn't necessarily support people who are learning in different ways. Some people learn with their hands. Some people are visual learners. Some people just actually need to have it in their hands and see it and do it. Like kinesthetic learners. You got people who learn in a whole bunch of different ways. And for you guys to have this here, this will support people who actually learn by kind of doing. And again, it'll give you guys a really inside track to people who would be really good to work on your blockchain, and they get to grow along with you guys. And I think that's just really, really, really sweet. I think that's a really awesome thing.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly, right? Like not everyone learns the same way. So the gamified learning is not the only method to get that qualified investor status. We're also going to be doing your traditional online with audio and video and articles, and we're also going to be facilitating in-person learning. So anywhere we open a physical location, we're going to start with Toronto, for example. You can walk in and learn in person as well. So not only if you're a classroom learner, or if you're an online learner or a gamified learner, we're going to introduce as many elements to learn as possible to help you along your way.
Man, I just love that. I cannot say enough about that. The diversification. Oh God, can't talk today. But yeah, if you guys want to circle back to the staking now would be a great time.
I think we got to point out one thing that we know what education is like in other countries. Before we get there, sorry, we know what it is like in other countries. A lot of places, especially like for instance, I didn't like half my life. I didn't grow up here, right? Majority of my life I'm here, but for half my life I wasn't here. And so a lot of people would understand when I say this. The way I was taught, not particular to anything, but the basics, even math. I wasn't taught to plug and play into existing formulas, whatever numbers, and this is the formula for this parabola, for instance, and that's how you do it. I was taught to understand the formula, and by understanding the formula, I can apply it to other things in life that I wouldn't otherwise see it fit into, right? So when we to further what Neville's saying, when we have these courses, it's not gonna leave you hanging if you don't see a coin or a potential for an investment that's exactly like the example we gave you. You will be able to apply these skills and say, okay, I can mold it slightly a little bit differently because I know how this formula works, and apply it to this one that I'm seeing here now. And we're taking you that step further and explaining to you the details so that you can think for yourself. So you're not only given the tools, but you're giving the ability to apply these tools to various other scenarios because you know how these tools work.
That's awesome. Because here in America, there's a whole like people, conspiracy about it, but it's actually true. So you can't really call it that. But um, here people are more like you just said, tested to just use the formula, just pass the standardized tests, just give me the right answer, and push you along. That's the American way that people get taught here. So it's really cool that you're doing that because it teaches critical thinking, deductive reasoning, things that you actually need to use in life to apply things. So that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, thank you. That's Neville's been working really hard there with Chris on developing all these different modules, um, different guidelines, different guides, different materials for, and there's just so much, man. There's just you can't fit it even into one day if you tried. And we can keep going down there, but I believe you wanted to talk about something else.
I see people on the side saying, when will this be available in the USA? Not quite sure what you're talking about when you say that, but this coin itself, you can buy on a Binance Smart Chain. There will be, I'm sorry, this token, I should say, you can buy on a Binance Smart Chain, but it's going to migrate over to their own Rails network. So when it migrates over to their Rails network, it's going to become a coin. So there's a whole AMA on that. So you guys have to definitely check that out. You can either check out the review on my channel or go to the SteamX YouTube and check that out. And like the big takeaway that I got from that was these guys really went over the tokenomics, like with a fine-tooth comb, so that they were the best tokenomics for everyone involved.
And we still will one more time before, at least one more time before, and then right at, we still will to double check and triple check that the numbers do line up.
Man, and that's something, again, and I can't make this up. This is not rehearsed. The man just said he's going to go over it like 2 more times. Like, this is the type of stuff that I love about you guys' exchange. That you guys are checking and double checking and checking over again. Like, that means a lot as a consumer or someone who's willing to invest in your coin, that we hear that from you guys. Like,
Chris was the one that caught the we put 2 formulas side by side, but somehow I guess one of the numbers went into the other table, and Chris caught that. That's what we had to push. We couldn't come out on the AMA and run with it the way it is. We couldn't let someone do their head, math in their head and scratch their head and be like, okay, yeah, no, but it made sense to them, so it must be okay. No, we wanted it on point, so we delayed the we ended up delaying the AMA over to Wednesday and redid the number and make sure that it's on point. But yeah, Chris was the one that caught that.
Man, like, you guys might be confused because I'm smiling over here. Like, I'm smiling and like literally joy to hear like that from a CEO, right? When we live in this world and so many people get taken advantage of, and it's really a delight to hear that from someone. And again, like, to hear them take questions off the cuff in their AMAs is something like I very much enjoy. There's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. Man, it'll come back to me.
Yeah, I think Chris wanted to fill us up on what's that word? Oh, I forgot. Chris, you wanna? I forgot the word. Escaped my mind.
No, you're good. I'm not sure what you were gonna say, but I just, again, I don't know. It might sound a little cliche, but we're extremely passionate about what we do, right? Again, we all have that backstory where we've all been burned along the way, and we really, I mean, as a human, I can't stress this enough. I'm going to repeat myself again. I mean, think about it, right? As human, we fear what we don't know. We fear what we don't understand. the minute you understand that, you'll be surprised how fast that level of fear gets torn down, right? So again, everything we do is with putting people in the best position possible to make better decisions, right? And I don't know, I can't stress it enough, man. This is just something that we preach every single day, and we keep putting our best foot forward wherever we need to. Not just thinking about our current investors, but our new investors for years and years to come. And then as well our sustainability, because the way we've built our platform, we don't plan on just being around here for 2-3 years. I mean, we're building a platform for true sustainability for many years to come. So I'm excited. Everybody's excited. Every day is is a new day, right? So yeah, this is great.
Right
Yeah,
on.
and
Yeah,
actually,
that was part of the calculation that we did. You wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
we didn't want to be a one hit wonder.
Yeah.
So when we calculated the numbers, which again was a whole AMA on that, but when we calculated the numbers, we at the base looked at 8 to 10 years of longevity. Right now, we have the capacity to further that or shorten it. Meaning, no, we're not going to shorten and sabotage it. Obviously not. What I mean is we have the ability to edit it should there be a need. So we're in a very unique, different position compared to what's commonly what you're commonly going to see out there. So what I mean by that is, and you briefly spoke about it, but if you reward the miners and the mining pools, right, put that in one category, and then you reward the staking pools. So that would be the relay nodes, the nodes, and the master nodes, right? There's different ones, which, by the way, get rewarded within themselves differently, right? So,
yep.
but your mechanism from the get-go, okay? So when a block gets finalized, everything gets said and done, the reward that gets produced or minted, it's two different mechanisms that do the same thing. So one is responsible for miners and pools, and the other one is for servers and nodes and relays, right? Excuse me. Really thirsty today.
No worries.
Why is that unique? We're able to, if you think about this, right? Every time there's a half inning, a fifth inning, or whatever the case may be, right? Which, by the way, we're able to adjust if we need to. So protection, 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 right? Every time it gets half, fifth, whatever the case may be, we're able to do it and isolate it. So we can do it just on the miners if need be, or we can do it just on the nodes, or we can even increase the nodes on the miners, right? If we decide to go about that route. And why that's important, because at every step we always have the ability to incentivize one or the other if we wish to.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I don't
So
know
we
if
can
you
always incentivize running nodes, right? So we can go down from mining, scale down, and incentivize people running nodes, for instance, if we need to.
So one of the things that you touched on earlier was that you guys were basically gonna let people, if they wanted to be like a validator node for the staking, do it for free.
So it's a lot more complicated than it. Again, there's a whole AMA on it. There will be more AMAs on it. So it's essentially like a validator. So they mesh together. There has to be mining for the nodes to work, and there have to be nodes for the mining to work. And it's also built in such a way that if, for instance, every single one of our safety mechanisms fail, if, for instance, every single one of our safety mechanisms fail, which we have quite a few and they're quite elaborate, but if they do, and somebody does somehow acquire 51% of the network, they will still not be able to use it to their advantage, because there are master nodes that run as a backup player, and not as a backup player, but in conjunction with the mining in the mining pools. You see what I'm saying? You
Yes,
will
I
not
do.
be
So
able to attack the system. Well, you can attack it, you just won't result in anything.
that's right. So one of the things with everything that we've been seeing with gas prices and gas wars, also by having all those kind of hooks to pull on, you guys could probably make sure you don't have that much of a gas war type deal going on, right?
So, we're a net new blockchain essentially, and we're going to be vetting who comes along. So you're not going to get 1,000 different projects on there in 1 month or even 1 year, maybe, unless there's that much of a demand, in which case we'll definitely have to hire a larger team to vet it all. Now, having not that many projects on it also means that it's not as busy. But even if it is busy, we're capable of a vast amount of transactions per second if you calculate it, right? And I don't want to compare to any one particular name out there, but if you look at the numbers, you'll see for yourself that we are, even in the testing stages, right? We already have a higher number than a very well known few that are out there, which is quite exciting. And
Oh
and
yeah,
that's under stress with, I mean, I threw a few rigs on it, and Neville threw his laptop on it. I believe Chris threw his laptop on it as well, and Vera threw his laptop on it as well, right? Uh, and and Vera is not here today. It's our marketing PR guy. He does all of that stuff for us, and he's awesome. Um, couldn't make it
yes he
into
is.
like, yeah. Um, and we still could not overwhelm it. Like we could definitely push it off a bunch more back, really far. And I'm
And
looking at
definitely
the
guys
system, like
check
I'm
out
still looking at the code running here in the background as I'm talking to you. That's where my eyes keep wandering. I have 6 monitors here. Okay, it might seem excessive to you, but it's not enough for me. I'm monitoring, and I'm seeing how it's ran, and I'm seeing, like, if Neville is gonna go to the mining pool, for instance, and I'm looking at the screen right now, and it gets refreshed. I see it getting refreshed in the code, right? I see the pull request. I see everything, and so when you do that, instead of looking at what the user sees and you see everything from the back end, you get a better understanding of how everything works, where things may go sideways, may not go sideways, and we're quite confident of where we are and how it's progressing along. And I guess I'm gonna go in a circle here, but going back to what you mentioned, transparency for us is key. So if something happens, as recently as our developer situation, right, we will come out and tell you guys, right? And
Thank you, appreciate it.
and it's hard to talk about something. It really is, right? You ask us one thing, we talk about one thing, and then we go down a rabbit hole, if you will, and we connect with 10 other things that we're doing. And this is why, like, it may seem all over the map to the naked eye, if you will, right? But if you take a deep down dive and you see from the beginning how we've come here and how we got to this point, you'll see that every single, if you can call it, module that we have, right?
Mhm.
They all interlace with each other. So it's really hard for us to talk about just the one thing without wanting to tell you about the other thing that it works with. It's just like the urge is, okay, I want to give you all this information because it's really cool. Nava wants to give you all this information. It's really cool. I just don't know how he's sitting there without, you know, he's
Yeah,
virtually smacking me. He wants to talk. I can feel it.
Well, you know
yeah,
what?
you know
Can you
what? Like,
guys pull up the one slide from the AMA for last week showing the speed?
I think Chris, did you have that, or I think maybe Chris had that. Yeah, that's literally what I was just referring to. Um, where if you compare it,
Like
you'll see
I
what I mean.
compared
Yeah.
it to a couple of different blockchains. Uh, they can't say it, but I can. Um, from based off the math that I saw, I compared it to Algorand and Solana, which are two of the fastest chains I like, and they were faster. So, um, but yeah, they can't say that, but I can. And again, I told you guys I did a little video on AMA, so go check it out. And it's kind of hard to distill all their information into like 1 hour, right? So definitely go over to my channel. I have like 2 or 3 videos on these guys. Go back and watch all the AMAs. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They take straight questions, like not powder puff, like like powder puff stuff that I see other people taking, and not any knock on them, just a plus for you guys that you take stuff directly off the cuff. Um,
There's a
yeah.
lot
So
more, man. You can't like we agree. You can't shove it in. Like okay, like can we just touch on the basics? We did licenses, for instance, right? What how many other projects do licenses? I've noticed a few that piggybacked on it and came out and said that did their licenses. Um, Another major thing that people should know, what we are really proud of it, we put our own money on the line before we even opened a Telegram group and said, hey guys, come look at what we're doing. We had a product to show. We have a product to show,
yep.
right? Someone want to go over the licenses and tell them what we've done so far? So in case somebody missed it.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't want to hijack it.
no, you're good, brother. Yeah. So we have our FinTrack, our money services business license. We have our Duns, Bradstreet as well. I mean, again, it's hard to fit everything into that 1 hour slot, as the team says here. But we've been at this walk for 11, almost a year now. Multiple stages, and to Gary's point, when we did initially launch, we already brought a product to the space, and very few projects are bringing products to the space then launching, right? Most projects they'll launch and then develop a product, right? So we already came in here into the space with a product. Our stage one, we had our exchange, fully configured, implemented, backend infrastructure already there. We full stack implementation with our Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance, BNB nodes, stress testing of the wazoo. From a stage one perspective, we had KYC, server validators. We have a lot of that infrastructure stood up by the time we were ready to launch, right? And then again, it's more of a phased approach, right? If you were around at that time, or stage two, that's when we started launching our Android and iOS mobile application launches with the integration, again with some additional chains. We had updated UI work that in stage two, as well as expanding our KYC reach as well too. That was a big one for us to the US, the UK, the AU, and even Japan, right? There was just a lot. And stage three, where we currently are, and beyond as well too, is kind of that element where we're bringing all these services and development and kind of bring them together with the upcoming launch for our Rails network, and kind of making sure that everything is integrated and seamless as possible, right? Along that, with the whole the gamification, the education, there's a lot going on. But I mean, we've definitely had quite the journey so far, and there's a lot of great work yet to come. So yeah, it's been a wild one.
That reminds me of a question I have about the education part. So you guys are not only going to do it online, you're going to do it also in buildings, right? So once someone completes the education, will they have like a certification or something that they can like use to say, okay, now I can apply for a crypto job or a blockchain job? How will that work?
So I know the guys are working on it, but it's not again set in stone yet. We can. I'll let the guys speak to it, but we can. We're looking at a few avenues that are going to be more, set in stone. Um, we had a few avenues that looked like, okay, this is probably the better way to do it, but we know that some people are going to want the other options, right? Now, in terms of schooling, or in terms of just becoming accredited essentially, right? Getting like a diploma or something that says accredited that you can potentially take into another place of business and do business there, right? Because we're not going to limit you just to us. Of course, we want you to come to us. We understand if you want to shop around, shop around. But from what I can tell you is, if I was shopping around, I would still end up here. And no, I'm not saying it just because this is our team. This is us. This is like everything we're building for, everything we're working for. It's literally convenient, right? We had one of our admins, and he shared an example with us. Um, his home screen, Neville, I believe it was 6 or 7.
Yep, seven apps.
Seven apps, right? And in order to do what he wants to do within a day, if something pops, something new, right? Essentially, what he said is he has to use all these 7 of these apps. So can you imagine fees times 7, transferring from A, B to Z all the way back around in circle? You're done moving $1,000. You're down to 600.
Okay. Okay, because I really like everyone's hearing about crypto, and everybody everyone wants to be kind of like in development, and to be able to walk away with like a cert, even if it's not like a what is it, even if it's not like, okay, I'm accredited or something, just like a little cert.
No. So,
I
so
think
yeah. So Neville was working on that with the university too.
Yeah, so it's not just the university. So we're actually working with the Ministry of Ontario and
Mhm.
one specific department or branch within the ministry on creating micro certifications. So those certifications, similar to like the LinkedIn certificates or the Google certificates, there's going to be possibly Steam Exchange certificates as well that you can reference and you can tie yourself to. So that is
Man,
something
that's
we're looking at.
absolutely
That is on the table.
sweet.
Yeah.
We were even
That's
thinking
sweet.
like the extracurricular credits you got to take.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll
Yeah,
go
either.
towards like half a credit, right? So it just depends on which way we finalize it and go at it. But there's definitely gonna be more than one option, right? And you wanted to circle back to the staking, how
Mhm.
we're letting people use it. So we haven't set it in stone yet. If we carved it out, right? That you know, who's and how many, right? Masternode for sure we know. Um, at least one per person. We won't let you run more than one. It just doesn't make sense
Mhm.
unless you're a company. Masternodes are a higher vetting procedure, if you will, right?
Yep.
Where you have to be vetted and make sure that you have the prerequisites, which we will list later. Now, we haven't, again, set it in stone, but this is the direction we're leaning on. Relay nodes. We want to open up that door to everybody. So, again, with some basic requirements, but especially everybody that we have now, we want to make them entitled to at least be able to run one. So if you're in our group, you're in our Telegram, and you want to, obviously, we're going to need you to KYC for it, but you want to run a relay node. If you didn't qualify for the master node, you still want to run a relay node, you still want to be part of the ecosystem. We're looking at it, like we're 90% for example, settled on it with a few major questions still up in the air for it, right? In order to facilitate it for everyone. So as long as these go through smoothly, we'll finalize it, and I'm sure you'll hear about it in our AMA, right? I just don't want to promise it just yet. I'm really careful with that. I don't want to promise. We don't promise stuff that we don't deliver on. If you've noticed, right? We're very careful. I'd rather say here 10 times and sound weird about it, how it's not carved in stone yet, but I'd rather not promise something until it's 100%.
Oh, believe me, that is 100% the way to be. I can bring up a gripe I have with the other side or Bored Ape about doing something like that.
Let's
But
not go
I'll
there.
say
Yeah,
that.
it's
I'll save that for another day.
So the gist is we want to give everybody the opportunity, right? And if we circle back to when I said, free, what does that mean? So normally, right? I was talking about this before. I was kind of stealing your time talking about this before because I was giving you probably a bigger picture than you wanted to hear. But normally, again, you have to put up money for a node, right? In order for you to run it. Because if you have something to lose, you're not going to be a bad actor. That's the way they're thinking about it. We work a little bit differently, right? By vetting you, right? We know who's responsible for the node. We know everything about that node. If a node acts out, leave it at that, saying it acts out, we are able to disconnect that node from the system. We can send, if you will, kill command. And that node does not exist in the system anymore, and all the other nodes will automatically disconnect from it. It's a different way of building the system, right? Especially, right? You have everything that's out there right now, all these servers, everything, every time you need to implement a modification, there needs to be offline time for upgrades. You have to push some information manually. With us, it's different. It's built in, okay, and the system chooses which nodes when. So it's not going to tear down the entire system offline and all of a sudden everybody upgrades together. No. It cycles through. It chooses, this time you, and it won't penalize you for it. There's no penalizing for that, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
another thing
automated.
that
There's nobody that's out of date, right? There's what ended up happening when I can't say the name, but recent one that big one, it did an update. A lot of exchanges, that big improvement protocol, right? That happened. It really messed up a lot of mining pools. It messed up a lot of exchanges. Their transactions kept failing because they didn't do the update in time, and a lot of people lost a lot of money because of the price fluctuations and what have you, right? And not a lot of people noticed because it was really swept under the rug and really kept quiet, and they paid off a lot of people everywhere. Not a lot of people know it, but if you don't do an upgrade properly, the restoration process is longer than the installation of a new one because you have to carefully restore the database so that nobody loses a dollar. Because that's even worse.
I really like to hear that from you guys. That you can kind of like maximize or almost have like 100% run uptime. By the way, you guys designed your nodes, and I'm a programmer myself, so I know how important it is to have things kind of in an object-oriented, like reusable type of manner. And you definitely don't want to have certain like downtime moments and and anything. But it was really like nice to see that you guys had that implemented. Let's see here.
Sorry, just to finalize on that,
Sure.
Apart from being able to individually control them, you're able to kick away bad actors. You're also able to the system have it automated updates, right? So it's less interaction from the user. It's less maintenance. It's much more feasible in terms of upkeep. There's only very few points where the person running the relay nodes would have to intervene and do something, right? It's going to be very self-sufficient. It's going to come with all the programs that you need in a file that's going to run, install, plug in your wallet. Have a nice day. Make it easy and simple. But the major part about this is that we do not want you to stake any coins. We will not have that option. So it's similar to proof of stake, but it's not proof of stake. You do not stake coins, because you and I know, for instance, not a lot of people know this, but people here know that, and I'll tell your audience, right? If you are late, if you missed usually between 1 to 3 days, if you don't hop on that wagon when the new master nodes come out for a new and exciting coin blockchain, you miss those first few days, that's it. Chances are it's worth $1 million, and you're not going to take a loan out. You're not going to remortgage the house, right? So by not doing, not asking anyone to put up any money, put up any tokens, any coins, or what have you, right? We're opening the doors to literally everybody on this planet. Anybody that wants to participate can apply to participate. You don't need to put up your coins to participate, which is a major. There's so many people out there that would like to participate by running a master node and say, I am helping, not much, right? Not doing a lot because the system does it for you. It's automated, but I am helping upkeep the ecosystem of cryptocurrency by one way or another. And it's a proud moment for them. And this ties in into what we said in the beginning. And if you, I'm not sure if you caught it on one of our really early AMAs, we always said that if we go up, we want our community to go up with us.
Yeah, and I've seen you guys like prove that like every time. I know there's one thing one person in the chat wanted you guys to touch upon was your NFT gateway that you guys plan on doing.
I was just thinking that. Right on.
Cool. So this is our NFT gateway. It's still in development. What it's going to be is, we're not NFT experts by any means. We don't want to call ourselves NFT experts, but what we do want is to have a one-stop shop ecosystem. So NFTs is a big part of cryptocurrency at the moment, digital assets. So we would definitely have to have our play in bringing NFTs to our home. So the gateway itself, it's going to do is it's going to use algorithms and APIs to pull NFTs from other sources. In this example, proof of concept, what we did was we connected with OpenSea. So this is live on OpenSea right now. And the NFTs that you're seeing is going to be tradable, and you can purchase, sell to OpenSea and from OpenSea from within the gateway itself. So the reason we did that is that, number one, we want people to connect their wallets less often. One of the biggest things riddling the crypto space at the moment is wallet connection scams. So you'll hear a lot about Steam Exchange and limiting the amount of wallet connections you have through our ecosystem. So essentially, you would connect your wallet here, and then we'll go and aggregate the sources for you. So at the moment, it's just OpenSea, but in the future, it could be 30 different ecosystems and NFTs from Solana, NFTs from ETH. It could be NFTs from Kronos, anywhere. We'll aggregate that data for you and present it to you through the gateway. That way, you're connecting your wallet to Steam Exchange NFT Gateway, and you can trade for those NFTs from within our ecosystem. You don't have to leave our ecosystem to do so.
That sounds amazing. Do you guys? Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
Do you guys plan on possibly even launching your own NFTs, or having someone say, like, they go through the lab and they have, or the innovation lab, and they have something that might seem like a good community or whatever? Would you guys consider like having them launch the NFT just like directly on your platform?
So we created the functionality to mint through the gateway, but it requires different regulation compliances, right? And we're definitely not there yet as far as that road or that path rather. So we have the functionality. We're going to continue working with that functionality and include it in our development, but we're not going to release it to the wild until we do get that approval and we do have that go ahead to do so. But yeah, definitely one day we would love to see teams launching projects with affiliated NFTs through our ecosystem. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I agree.
we have a lot of things like that that are, they're not a no, but they're a no as we start. They're on the board. We haven't excluded them. That we're not doing them. We've coded for them. Um,
Yep.
but we're just, as a lot of places, we're waiting to see where the dust settles in this bigger space, right? You don't want
Well,
to be stepping on the wrong toes.
Yeah, for sure. And I like this. Again, this will appeal to our stock audience really a lot because they don't have to learn that much about wallets. All they have to do is connect their wallet here, and they're open to NFTs from multiple different platforms. I think that would really appeal to a seasoned stock guy. They only have to come on here, and now they're open to the whole world of NFTs. They don't have to now go, oh, okay, now I need to change my money into Cardano or whatever to go into Cardano. Like it's right there for them, and it's quick and it's easy.
Exactly, and we didn't really touch on that, but that is one of the functions. So Steam Exchange has a bridge. So we have the Rails network, and a part of the Rails network is a bridge. And essentially, that the way that's going to function is, for example, the prices you see here, are in ETH, but if you connect to Steam Exchange wallet and your wallet has SteamX in it, you'll see the prices in Steam Exchange token. And what happens is on the through the bridge and on the back end of the infrastructure, we'll swap and do all the trading necessary for you. So that way you're only trading one currency, but you're able to connect to the different NFTs from all over the ecospace, crypto ecosphere. Another thing is this section over here where you do see OpenSea, that's something we're gonna leave for showcase. So if you're an up and coming artist, or if you're an up and coming platform, if you're a platform that we really enjoy, we think you're doing a good job, we're gonna showcase you in this section here, and then different sections of the gateway will be dedicated to NFTs pulled directly from your source. So that's something we can do for artists, like I said, for collections, specific marketplaces. We want to have like an NFT showcase area of our gateway. So I think that'd be really cool for other platforms that are trying to enter the market, or they've been in the market and they want to showcase what they can do. We want to be able to help them and help them do so.
And again, we're waiting on a lot of things to kind of give and see what we can turn on and what we can't turn on just yet, right? So we're not saying no to anything in particular, but we're not gonna promise you that something's gonna be live unless we're 100% sure it's gonna be live. So there's been a lot of questions. Staking. No, so we're not jumping onto this. We're not doing staking when we go live. At this point, that's the way it's going to remain until otherwise. And we would definitely be screaming off the top of the mountain, "Hey guys, we have this and this and this." If we changed it, then something changed, right? Because we would want people to know, obviously, right? There's so many more things. Like I honestly, I forgot, Neville. Thank God you mentioned it. I forgot. It's a major factor. This ties into our swap and our quick swap and our advanced. Chris, did you want to touch base on that? You worked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think earlier on we kind of touched base on it again, but again, that's one of the things that makes us versatile, and we call ourselves a hybrid, right? Not only from a blockchain perspective, but from a products and service perspective, especially on the exchange side, right? You might feel comfortable, and we all know users out there who are more comfortable performing trades within the DeFi space, or some people feel more secure being on a centralized exchange, right? Or some people don't even want to have to deal with, connecting a wallet or KYC. So they might want to do a quick swap, more or less, right? Or a swap. So, again, this is kind of, what we're bringing to the table. We feel it's our strong suit, right? Being able to be versatile, right? If you watch basketball, I'm not the most avid basketball player, but back in the day, the centers used to be one-dimensional, catch the ball down low in the post and just go up. Right now, you see centers that are shooting threes now, right? I mean, versatility, right? I think that's the name of the game right now, and that's definitely what we're doing, right? So,
that's cool, and I didn't even
skipped out on the major factor, eh?
Yeah, right.
So
what's that?
You know this, right? But what is swap? What is quick swap? What's the difference, right? So high level. Chris, did you want to do it, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick swap is what you know of now, right? You're connecting your wallet and this is quick. The system knows how much money is where, what kind of currency, and you want to swap this for that. No problem, done. Right? What's a swap? A swap, it's a slower version of it. It's a trustless system. It's programmed in such a way that you ask for a trade, right? It gives you the slippage. It gives you everything that you need. All the information is there. It generates an address specific to you. So you choose what you want to deposit and what you want to receive. It then generates an address specific to you and waits for it to be confirmed on the blockchain. Once it's confirmed on the blockchain, the system will send you back deselect the crypto to a wallet that you've specified. This demo was on one of our AMAs. I don't have the site up right now. I was just trying to see. I was working on it right now, so I can ask them to pause so I don't ruin anything. I'm not seeing a response back just yet. They could be on lunch or whatnot. A dinner, I should say now. Sorry, just so. If you guys want to look at that, you can look at what it's on our AMAs and our YouTube channel. But again, this is something that's not really out there, or I haven't found a reputable source that does that. So I think it's a pretty big tool. It avoids you having to connect your wallet anywhere, so you can't get scammed.
I'm sorry, say that again, please, Gary.
It avoids you having to connect your wallet. So naturally, scammers that fish through imitation websites are going to be out of business. I love putting scammers out of business. We have to keep putting scammers out of business.
That's right. And so then you can do that without needing to do necessarily KYC, right?
This is on the DeFi side.
Yep. So it's okay. So it's fully decentralized. Don't necessarily have to, or you don't have to KYC on that part. So you guys got both the security side handled and the side if you just want to do a quick swap.
So keep in mind on the DeFi side, it still feeds off of the centralized side too, right? So it's not per se that you may or may not have something not available, which could happen, but likelihood of it is smaller. However, on the DeFi side, you don't have an on and off ramp.
Okay.
Major difference. Right?
So I think we had a really good basis here. I definitely, guys, I'm gonna be covering these guys on my channel big time. But these guys, they do bi-weekly AMAs. So definitely come over to Steam Exchange on YouTube. Check out their YouTube. Check out my YouTube, Black Rue Investing. It's Ruell Black. I'm going to be doing weekly AMAs with these guys. Or I'm gonna review their AMAs. I'm going to do videos on these guys like pretty constantly. And one of the things I really want to get for you guys to understand, this is going to be an exchange with its own blockchain. So you're getting to invest in like I won't make any comparisons just so like it's not sticky for these guys, but you're investing in a blockchain like ground level on the ground floor. Like you get to grow with it. Imagine like all the different popular exchanges you guys know out there. You know how they get really a lot of money like that. Every time there's a transaction, they get a little fee from it. So think about all the different fees and all the different little fees that these guys are going to get from transactions passing through their exchange. And they're in Canada. So as far as I know, there's pretty much a really nice moat there in Canada. There's no like really huge like exchange that's going to get in you guys' way and bothering you. So I think it's such an amazing opportunity. That's why I wanted to bring it here to you, my trusted family here at Benzinga. I got my trusted Black Rue Investing family on here. I got my guy, Underdog Crypto, guy I frequently collaborate with on here. I bring you guys only the best. I consider these guys the best. And yeah, I look forward to bringing you guys more information on these guys. And if they ever want to come on again, the door is always open.
Thank you. This is huge.
Thank
And
you.
again, for us, I mean, we're just about educating and building, right? I mean, this is the way. I've always been keen on building relationships and building networks, right? And we need to continue to surround ourselves with like-minded people who want to better the space, and that's one of the biggest ways this space will get stronger. So I mean, we're here any day. Thanks for having us, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, no
Thank
problem,
you guys
guys.
so much. It's really hard days to find someone. And I'm sorry, I was just a lot of work and I'm stressing, so I might not look like myself. I do apologize. If you come over to the AMAs, I swear I'm normal. If you if you if you can kind of sense it, guys, I really want to point out that you know we're doing this because we're sick and tired of scam artists. We want something better, and while doing it, why not do something that's better for everyone else, yourself, myself. You know what? Call me later if you want. I'll tell you everything about how it affected me. It'll speak to everyone else, and it'll cover at least half the crowd that got screwed over by um, what do you call them? Quadriga, right?
Yep.
It's like saying Voldemort. I swear.
Right.
It's bizarre, and like it's hard for me to say goodbye to you because it's so hard to find someone that you speak with, and it's an intellectual conversation where you enjoy it and you have fun. It's wow. It's guys. It's been awesome.
Well, it's
Um,
not gonna be goodbye. I already see someone in the crowd. Like, I love to have these guys back on again. So we're definitely
Yeah,
gonna have to
and
do it
you're
again.
welcome to come by. In terms of, I haven't caught up too much. I don't know if you did you ever do the mining side of it or not? Like, did
Just a
you ever
little
got
bit. I do a little
interested in it?
helium mining. Yeah, so I do just a little bit of helium mining. I am a C++ programmer, so I can kind of like fiddle with it, and like, it's not too bad to kind of set stuff up. Um, yeah, yeah, I definitely like the mining side. I was interested in trying to do a node, but and getting
Right.
back to that whole node thing, guys, Gary's
Sorry, the
telling you
lag there.
guys
Yeah.
such the truth on that. If you're trying to be like in a node and get a validator node, sometimes it could cost you as many as like 10,000 tokens. The cheapest I've seen with one is like 2,000
This
tokens,
is a
and that's
really,
like, like 20 cents a token. So you know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't know if you can hear me. I'm having a bad lag. Before we go, I know this was kind of up in the air there. Neville, I finished synchronizing it. If you did want to demo it, now is your chance. It's fully working and I'm
yeah, we have a
connected.
couple minutes. If you guys want to do it, sure. I don't mind.
Sorry, Chris. I know you were already saying goodbye, but I got it on. I finished synchronizing it, Neville. It's fully live. It's I'm sorry it took that long. I was like three things at once.
No, I don't mind.
It's good to go. Go ahead if you wanna share it. But keep in mind, 5 minutes from now it will propagate because that's how long the proxy takes. Again, as a failsafe, as a failover, so that if there are attacks, the system keeps running. And this is a testament to us continuously adding layers of protection. And if this happens, we're ready for it. This is very unlikely that it's ever going to happen, but just in case, why not? Let's put it in there. Make sure it's good. I put on what I call. This one is called. I can toss you the address level if you want to propagate it and see if it'll come up. I don't mind. I dropped it in our other chat. You can pull that address up so everybody can see it. And also, I'll pull up this one, give you that one as well. And then you can open that up. And that they work. There you go. So Neville, if you wanted to just and it will propagate. Give it a minute. They're both there. They do work. Just like I said, give it a second or a few minutes, and it'll kick in. And okay, one of them is the Wookiee, and the other one is the Gypsy. sorry, I have funky names for my mining rigs.
It's all good.
One of our upcoming AMAs, maybe perhaps the next one, will be doing the mining rig, setting them up. You're more than welcome to pop in, yeah, with your whole community if you'd like. But for now, you can see right away, Pool Miners is there. And then if Neville scrolls down, you'll see the nodes. That's different. That's the connected servers in the blockchain. We didn't go over this today, but maybe next time we'll show you guys a live transaction. It does already work on the blockchain. Even though it's on our testnet, I'm already hitting shares. I'm already hitting blocks. I see it on the other side here. And I'm seeing it propagate on the blockchain. Neville, do you want to do a quick rundown on this? You take it away.
Sure. So this is going to be the one of the many official mining pools for Steam Exchange. The UI aspect of it. So if you apply to run a pool or a node, this will be given to you to use as it's in its current form. And then you can modify it to your liking, of course, right? So if you want different specs here, if you don't want to see what the pending shares are for this particular miner, you want to see something else, you can plug in whatever data you would like to plug in, all available through our blockchain. So this is kind of the dashboard, right? You come in here as an investor or a pool operator or a miner or a fellow miner in a pool. You can plug in a wallet for this particular pool, and it'll show you how many shares they have. For example, how much they're hashing at the moment, what's their hash rate, what their pending balance is, and what their paid balance is. So this particular miner hasn't been propagated yet. It does take a little bit of time intentionally, just to protect the server and infrastructure from being hit too many times. Every so often it updates this information and then it shows you the data. This is our stats page, what Gary was looking at earlier just a couple of minutes ago. It shows you what our current block height is. So on testnet right now, the Rails network is sitting at about 307,000 blocks. This is what the network hash rate currently is. The difficulty of the algorithm and what this particular pool is hashing. So it has like a kind of a one-stop shop vibe for anyone that's looking for real-time information, delayed 5 minutes real-time information about the blockchain, about this particular pool. Over here, it shows you a list of the miners connected to the pool. So Gary, I guess, turned on three rigs, and that's his 3 rigs right there. The address, what they're currently hashing, and what their share rate is. So this is kind of like a leaderboard, so to speak. So it says top 20 contributors of all time in this pool. So, if you have buddies that are mining in the same pool, they're hashing better than you. Maybe you'll say, you know what, I'm gonna beat your specs. I'm gonna buy better cards, and I'm gonna hash, better than you. And you can compete with your peers, right? So if you're a pool operator, maybe you'll have, internal competitions about who wants to take the number one spot.
Talking about me.
Right. So if you're a pool operator.
I'm glad you guys brought this on because people are asking questions. How do you mine? And, the guys are actually going to give an education on that for anyone who's actually interested in mining once everything's up and running. So that's another way you guys showing like a good commitment to.
Well, we'll do it before. We'll do it before. Yeah, we'll do it before. Right. We're not gonna. We'll do it before, so you can go ahead and start practicing. You don't need any this crazy hardware. For us, at least, you don't need this crazy hardware. You don't need to go spend thousands of dollars. You could probably do it with your dual Celeron processor and whatever graphic card you have in there. You got a gig of RAM and the graphic card. Perfect. Come. You're gonna be good.
You guys
for us. Maybe for something that's out there in the wild, you need something more elaborate, bigger. For that big boy that's out there, you need some power, right, to make any substantial dent and actually generate more than the electricity that you burn.
Yeah, but, and we're gonna automate as much of that process as possible, right?
Yeah, I'll let Neville finish.
Yeah, so the whole mining process, setting up a node process, if you want to, whether it be a pool, a validator node, master node, relay node, we're going to automate as much of that process as possible. So even at that point, you don't have to have that mining experience behind you. Of course, there's going to be some stuff we can't automate, like your IP address, your wallet address. That's going to be manual entries. But for the most part, we're going to try to make an as seamless process as possible so that anyone can get into mining, anyone can get into operating a node. especially the relay nodes that we would really encourage, every single holder to operate, right, to run.
And we're not talking just software, right? I was actually thinking in the next 1 or 2 days, I will start filming the video for a physical construction of a miner, if you will, right? And maybe, just not saying it yet, but maybe I have to think about it. Someone will get to participate either remotely or maybe even physically, maybe. And that person, if predetermined, not only participate, but if they want it for themselves, then they would be able to build it with me. And obviously, I'll make sure that it's up to par. It's going to last. Again, at cost, zero profit, and they get to benefit from it being recorded and it being done well with moi, if you will, right? I have done some pretty elaborate and interesting designs. I I I do have the typical, you know, buy it from Amazon, shove it in there, and it's good to go. I've done these server style cases before they were even cool, before all the main guys even had them. I do have a channel that I will not mention here, but I do have a channel that I've had from 2018, and I've stopped doing when the whole thing with Quadriga went down.
Yeah.
That channel is actually pretty embarrassing. I believe I used my MacBook camera and my iPhone 6 or whatever I had back then. I don't want to talk
Dude,
about
you
it,
don't want to
but
see some of my
it's
first
there.
videos.
Like it's yeah, but I'm not. Like I've never hidden it. Actually, I've mentioned it a few times in the chat. People go take a look. If you're, nothing really changed. If you think about it, it's the same. It's the same procedure. It's just new hardware. That's all it is. It's instead of buying a graphic card that ends in a 1, you're buying a graphic card that ends in a 2 or a 3. It's the same concept. It's the same software name. There's maybe a little bit more software out there, but it's all the same, right? So I've done it before, and now I know what to do it better, so that we can teach people better, which aligns perfectly with where we are.
And I'm glad you talked on those points, because it gives the people something to look forward to from you guys with the mining. And guys, some very important points that I want to pull from that. They're saying that you'll be able to mine with like kind of normal equipment. Um, to mine Ethereum, for instance, they can't name names. I am to mine Ethereum, for instance.
Thank you.
You have to have like these graphics cards, like these NVIDIA graphics cards that are like $1,000 a pop, or Radeon graphics cards that are like $1,000 a pop. Dude, like it's such an opportunity to be able to just mine with your regular laptop and not having to drop like $1,000, and then then have to mine your profit back for paying for that card. You guys have no idea, right? So that's just something to note, that you're not going to have to pay for like $1,000 graphics card to mine with these guys.
Yeah, and something to
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just to add to that as well too. It's these miners within our ecosystem, they play a critical part, right? So yay, setting up a miner and getting rewarded 100%, but in the grand scheme of things, in if you're looking at everything holistically, like these miners play a pivotal part within our ecosystem, and will help bolster our ecosystem as well too, right? So why not get rewarded for it, right? And I think that's the big thing that we need to kind of take away from there, right? Not the rewards 100% would be nice, but keeping that platform alive and keeping that platform strong, it goes a long way. 100%, everybody who contributes. So something to think about.
Look, it's very critical to us that everybody's happy, right? It was part of our calculation. We wanted to make sure, and I'm going to stop right after this, because I know that after this, everybody's going to yell at me because like how much I talk, but it's because I'm so passionate about it. There's so much stuff that the guys did that I want to talk about what they did, and they put so much time and effort into it that I have to bring it up to light. I have to make sure that they get recognized for it, right? They've put so much, I'm gonna say blood, sweat, and tears into it, but the tears are, you know, it's you don't see it, but it's family sacrifices. If you knew how many fights we get into with our spouses, and the kids are not screaming in the background. I call them my crotch gremlins, right? But you know, someone's taking care of them, right? So to Chris's point, you know, we calculated where's the minimum, where's the maximum, and then keep it, you know, for longevity. It's a lot of work. The guys did a lot of work, and we can't squeeze it into not even 2 hours, if you will. But what we will ask you to do is, if you are interested, our AMAs are free to watch. Come by, watch it, ask questions, don't be shy. You never know what somebody else might be thinking, and they're too shy to ask. So you ask. It might seem silly, it might seem stupid, no such thing. You ask, because if you're thinking about it, chances are somebody else is, and they can't say it because they're shy. So come by, watch, and question us, ask us, and whatever comes to mind. Something doesn't make sense, ask myself, Chris, Neville. If we have the time and it's something we can elaborate on, and we don't have to yet hold it back, because there are materials that we can't release just yet because they're part of something else, right? Then otherwise, you know, if that doesn't happen, then we'll talk to it, and we'll give you all the information that we can.
I appreciate that. So yeah, definitely, guys, go on over to the Steam Exchange YouTube. Check out their Telegram as well. It's a really nice place to get some information for those guys. Come on over to my channel, Black Room Investing. Got a couple videos on these guys, which might just help you guys just streamline some stuff. But yeah, check out all the information. I believe it's a very wonderful opportunity, which is why I bring it to my fam here. We'll definitely have these guys back on if they want to come back on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Thanks, bro.
Guys, thank you for having us.
Thank
you for particularly tolerating me.
No toleration. Passion is always welcome here.
All right. Cheers.
That's my guys tolerating me.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye now.